5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
This is About Space, America's return to space, with news and information on our U.S. space program.
From our About Space Today World Headquarters, I'm John Gomez. NASA debuts the X-59B quiet supersonic jet. Axiom 3 successfully launches and docks with the ISS. And happy 20th anniversary to the Mars Opportunity rover. You'll hear about these stories next, as America and the world are listening to About Space Today.
Ever dream of an island getaway at an all-inclusive resort? Or going on an island-hopping cruise to multiple island destinations? See sun-bleached beaches and swim in the azure waters of the Caribbean Sea. Call today for your special discount prices to your island getaway. This is a special offer for About Space by calling 877-747-8631. And let's go and explore the islands of the Caribbean.
Welcome back. On January 12th, NASA unveiled its new supersonic jet, the X-59B. The X-59 is the latest in a series of experimental planes, although this one is meant to show that specially designed aircraft can fly at supersonic speeds without the sonic boom, and maybe even do some time travel. Don't believe me? Well, listen to Dee Dee Myers, California Senior Economic Advisor to the Governor.
It'll captivate, motivate, and educate communities all over the country about what's possible, including time travel, sort of, right? You'll be able to take off in New York City, fly 925 miles per hour, as Eric noted, and land 30 minutes before you take off on the New York-LA route.
Okay, so it's not exactly like Back to the Future, but the idea of shortened international travel is appealing. Remember the Concorde? Well, the X-59 is significantly quieter than that or any other supersonic aircraft. It's an extremely long and thin aircraft, almost 100 feet long. It has a wingspan of only about 29 feet. The nose is a distinguishing feature on this aircraft. It's about a third of the entire length of the aircraft. With its factory rollout complete, the X-59 will now undergo integrated systems testing, engine runs, and taxi testing in preparation for its first flight. It's set to take off for the first time later this year, ahead of its first quiet supersonic flight. Stay tuned to About Space Today News for updates on the first flight of this incredible aircraft. On Friday, January 19th, aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket, 4 European astronauts lifted off for the International Space Station. It was the first time a private space mission was manned by an all-European crew. About 12 hours later, SpaceX's Dragon capsule, carrying the crew of Axiom 3, docked with the ISS, and the crew was warmly welcomed by their fellow astronauts.
Coming together first through the hatches, Marcus Want and Alper Gezerauchi of Sweden and Turkey, respectively, being greeted by the crew of Expedition 70. The two are followed by Walter Villaday, pilot of the Dragon Freedom, last coming into the International Space Station, Commander Michael Lopez Alegria.
And speaking of Expedition 70, the commander of that expedition, Andreas Mogensen of Denmark, had a special message for their new short-term tenants.
On behalf of the Expedition 70 crew, I'd like to welcome Axiom 3 on board the International Space Station. This is an incredibly exciting time for human spaceflight with the third private mission, which is allowing many more countries to participate in the scientific research and technology development that we do on board this orbiting laboratory. We have doubled the number of nationalities on board the space station, going from 4 to 8, which I think is a great testament to the international collaboration which underpins this marvelous space station. I'm also very proud as a European to welcome 4 other Europeans. I think this is the first time in the history of the space station that we have 5 Europeans on board at the same time. And certainly it's the first time that we have 2 Scandinavians on board. So I'm very happy to welcome my fellow Scandinavian, Marcus. But we look forward to the next 2 weeks to an intense period of work on board the space station. So a big warm welcome to Axiom 3 from us on board the space station.
An interesting point is that while Axiom 3 is in orbit, There will be 11 people aboard the ISS and 3 people aboard the Chinese Tiangong space station, making a total of 14 people in orbit. If Virgin Galactic's next flight overlaps with this mission, there would be 20 people above 80 kilometers altitude for a few minutes, tying the record for the most people in space at one time. The Axiom 3 crew is expected to depart on or about February 2nd.
Atmospheric entry. Radar will lock on the ground in 5 seconds from now. Current altitude 8,000 feet. Moving at a speed of 173 miles per hour, we are near our terminal velocity. At this point in time, we should be on the ground. Stand by.
That music and celebration was from January 25th, 2004, approximately 7,106 sols ago. NASA's Mars Exploration Rover B, or Opportunity, landed in Meridiani Planum on Mars, the second rover to land on Mars within 3 weeks, the other being the Spirit rover. Opportunity's mission was planned for 90 sols, or about 92.5 Earth days. Instead, the little rover that could survived the harsh Martian conditions for an astounding 5,498 Earth days, or about 5,352 sols. The only thing that stopped it? A 2018 planetary dust storm on June 10, 2018. The rover had a number of objectives while on Mars, including searching for geological clues to the environmental conditions that existed when liquid water was present on Mars and assessing whether that Martian environment was conducive to life. This reporter would just like to take an opportunity to say, happy anniversary, Opportunity rover, and thanks for the memories. Make sure you check out our Facebook page, AboutSpace.today, for launches and landings, and invite your family and friends to listen weekly. And in case you missed it, you can still see our live coverage from the Axiom 3 launch on our YouTube page, AboutSpace.today. To all of our listeners around the world and here in the U.S., thanks for joining me. I'm John Gomez, and this has been About Space Today.